Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here. In today's video, I'll be talking about the Washington Commanders, their salary cap situation, how they can make some more money, and how this all impacts the Terry McLaurin extension drama. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. Obviously, the Terry McLaurin, I said drama just because a lot of people are making a big deal out of it. Again, it's not a big deal until we get later and later into the offseason. Right now, it's fine. Once you get into, late July, early August, then it starts to become a little bit of an issue. So right now, according to Over the Cap, the Washington Commanders have a little over $21 million in cap space. You see all the numbers there. They got 91 guys on the roster, and again, the top 53 guys count towards the cap. That's how it works. So the Commanders, just going over some of their top guys, $26 million this year to Deron Payne, $25 to Terry, $21 Laremy Tunsil, $18 to Marshawn Lattimore. Those guys, a lot of those guys don't have a lot of guaranteed money left on their deals. Deron Payne has 13, Terry has like 3, Laremy Tunsil has 10, Marshawn Lattimore has 2. So not a lot of those guys have a lot of guaranteed money on their deals, which, for some of them is a big deal and, gets them a little bit frustrated. I'm sure Laremy Tunsil wants a new deal. I'm sure, Marshawn Lattimore wants a new deal as well, but they've got to prove it. But with Terry, his cap is 25.5, and I guess we'll go over these scenarios here. So if they did somehow decide to trade him, which I am not advocating for at all, I don't think it will happen at all. But there are people, who think they should do it or that it will happen. $11 million dead money. I guess it's already past June, so we can go to post-June. So it would be $5.6 million dead money and $20 million in cap savings. But like I said, it's not happening. And, I think they're going to get this done. And, they'll get a contract extension done sooner rather than later, before the season starts. I do believe that. But $25.5 million. They have $21 million in cap space this year, and obviously the next years they have more than enough, at least for now, to get these contract extensions done. So Terry, they can make it, they can make it work. We talked about it earlier in terms of what he would make. There was some reports saying 37. For me, that's a little bit too rich. But I think, DK Metcalf just got extended $33 million. He's a little bit younger than Terry. I think he deserves more than DK Metcalf. So give him like $34 million, $33.5 million to edge him out over DK. And I think that's a good deal for him. And, gives him a solid amount of money, or not a lot of money. And, maybe it's a 3-year deal. So then he'll play out this year and then play more, 3 more years after that. And then, he'll be going into when his contract's up, he'll be, 33 years old, something like that. And, maybe they want to make a new contract. And, if that's the case, they can go ahead and do it. And, so I also believe if they do extend him right now, it'll actually save money for this year. Not that it matters. They have a lot of cap space right now. It's not like they're going to use it on, signing some random guys off the street. And if they do, it's not going to cost $20 million in cap space. And they've already signed, all their rookies and everything, I believe. So, I'm like 90. I'm pretty sure they signed all their rookies. I know the main guys have been signed. They only had 5 draft picks, and the UDFAs are signed. Those guys have to get signed pretty quick. So the cap space number is not going to change a lot. So, and they don't need a lot of money to sign players. So, saving money on the Terry deal, honestly, usually what they do is, let's say it's a $30 million per year deal. The first year, because of the signing bonus and just how the contract's laid out, the first year the cap hits like, let's say 18 or $20 million out of those 30. And, they roll over to the future years. So it's, it's a backloaded contract. And for the Commanders, again, they have the cap space. I wouldn't mind, keeping it high for this year and maybe lowering the cap, a couple years down the line when you might be in a more of a, it might be a little bit harder to make some of these moves, and you might have less cap space. So right now they're fine, they're chilling. I guess some of it will roll over, which is good. I don't know exactly how that works 100%, but I do know if you save a lot of money, some of that will roll over. But Terry, that's like the biggest remaining thing that they have this off season, is figuring that out, whether they want to extend him, whether they want to play it out and then offer him in free agency after the season next year, or maybe throughout the season. I think that's the least likely option, is throughout the season. I think once the season starts, you shouldn't be talking contract. Your full focus should be on football. It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense to be talking contract, midway through the season, in my opinion, especially when it's like a little bit contentious. Sam Cosmi, I don't know. I know his was a little bit closer, but I believe it was still before, the season started and everything. So with Terry, hopefully it gets done before training camp. If not, before, there's like a 2-week period after the preseason and the first game. So hopefully they can get it done in between that period. He's going to get paid $30+ million a year. Very likely. It's very likely he's going to get paid $30+ million a year, and he deserves it. Really, really good receiver. In terms of other stuff, salary cap situations for the Commanders, Daron Payne, obviously a lot of money right now that they're paying him. He's a decent player, but not $26 million a year. If they wanted to maybe move on from him next year, they would save $11 million. It would be an $11 million dead money hit, $17 million saved, and then after 2027, in the 2027 season, they'll be able to save, he won't really be on the books. So there will be some dead money because of, the way Martin Mayhew, Ron Rivera, they did their deals is a lot of void deals. So there'll be some money left on the books, but it is what it is. And so we'll keep an eye out for Daron Payne. The next one's Laremy Tunsil. He doesn't have, I didn't mean to click on his thing, but he doesn't have a lot of guaranteed money on his deals. So next year he will have zero. All these top players right here, zero guaranteed salary. So for a lot of those guys, that is important. And Terry gets extended, that's not going to be an issue. But the other guys, that could be an issue. Frankie Louvu, maybe he wants some more guaranteed money. Maybe you extend him. I would love to extend him. Marshawn Lattimore, who knows if he's here next year? I think he's having a good off season, but we got to see it during the regular season, because he also could be playing really, really well, and then he gets hurt. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But you never know. And then Laremy Tunsil, I think they're going to try to get an extension done. He's going to be on the roster, or he's under contract for next year, which is good. But, I think ideally they have some kind of situation figured out after this year, or maybe, before the season starts, where he's extended through 2028. So he gets an additional 2 years on his deal and gets the guaranteed money he wants for 2026. And if it's done before the 2025 season, maybe gets some more guaranteed money for the 2025 season. Lattimore, I kind of talked about it. I think it'll be a wait and see situation, how he is, after this season. He's still under contract for 2026. For some reason, I thought he was, only for this season, but he's under contract. So if they want to keep him, they'll be able to keep him. They can maybe restructure the deal and make things work the way they can. And that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys new. Comment down below any videos you guys want. We'll be going into surgery on Wednesday. I might make a separate video about that, but do want to have some pre-recorded videos for you guys. So let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.